Hey friends, it's Just the Gems, I'm Brandon, and it's Golden Week. If you live in America, that means basically nothing, but to us weebs, it's a time for celebrating big discounts on Japanese games. If you're open to digital games and you want to get some fantastic deals, well, I've picked out the 20 best that are $20 or under. So let's get into it, shall we? Nier Automata is one of the best action RPGs to come out in the last, ever, actually. It's Yoko Taro's insane masterpiece, and getting it for anything less than $60 already feels like you're stealing it. If you're into robots that are more human than we are, and over-the-top action and trippy philosophy, you need to get this. It's $15.99 on Steam, PlayStation, and Xbox, and $19.99 on Switch, because Nintendo wants you to know they're worth it. The Final Fantasy X games have some of the best stories and gameplay in the entire series, and while they're pretty divergent, tonally, they're both essential JRPGs. And if you somehow don't have them already, the Golden Week sale has got you covered. The collection is only $11.99 on Steam and only $9.99 on PlayStation. It's $19.99 on Xbox and Switch, but still really solid price. Definitely grab these if you haven't already. You've heard people say that Final Fantasy XV is an incomplete game that's lacking the Final Fantasy flair. Those people are wrong. Final Fantasy XV is a beautiful experience, and it remains one of my all-time favorite Final Fantasies. And it's on big-time sale for Golden Week. If you were worried about the so-called incompleteness of the game, then stop worrying, because you've got the Royal Edition on sale, which has a bunch of the DLC included. On Steam, we have the Windows Edition, which similarly comes with a bunch of the DLC. The pieces that it doesn't include are also heavily discounted though, think $2. The game itself is only $13.99. On PlayStation and Xbox, the Royal Edition is also $13.99. Switch is a bit of an odd one in that it doesn't have the actual Final Fantasy XV game, but instead it has the Final Fantasy XV Pocket Edition. This is an episodic retelling of the original game's story with chibi-fied characters, and you can grab that on Switch for $11.99. Don't listen to the naysayers, decide for yourself, and take advantage of how cheap the price is to make it even easier to try. Persona 4 Golden is the game that got me hooked on Persona, and it still remains what I consider to be the best told Persona story. If you can somehow play over 100 hours with these characters and not be absolutely in love with them all, check your pulse, because I think you might have died. Solving small town murders by jumping inside of televisions and battling shadows has never looked so cool. Is that way too specific? Maybe, but look, it's only $9.99 on Steam, so get it. It's still $19.99 on all the other shops, which is basically full price, but heck, that's still under $20, and it's a fantastic deal for one of the best JRPGs ever made. Let's face it, a Final Fantasy IX remake probably isn't happening. It may have been planned, they might have even started working on it, but I just don't think we're ever going to see it. But that's no reason you can't enjoy the story and combat literally right now. Final Fantasy IX is the last Final Fantasy on the original PlayStation, and it served as a sort of grand farewell to the traditional style we'd come to expect from the series. It's still a big fan favorite to this day, and you can grab it for $8.39 on Steam, PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch. So why not? Okay, if you somehow haven't played Chrono Trigger yet, there are no more excuses. The Steam port is honestly the definitive version of the game. It has everything that made the original one of the greatest games of all time, and it also includes the additional content made for the Nintendo DS release. Traveling through time and meeting the greatest cast of characters ever assembled for a JRPG is worth its weight in gold, but on Steam, it's only going to cost you $7.49. Please play this game if you haven't. It holds up, I promise. The first time Live Alive came out, we completely missed it in the West, but fortunately Square Enix decided to give us this incredible HD 2D remake, and holy cow, I can't believe I went this long without experiencing this game. It's made up of a bunch of essentially short JRPGs, each with a different main character and setting, and one of the coolest things is figuring out what it is that connects all these stories before you finally reach the end. Really intriguing combat and awesome short stories make this very worth your time. It's only $19.99 on Steam, so grab it for that price while you can. I'll be real with you, the Yakuza games have always been JRPGs. Sure, they haven't always looked the part, considering they feature a bunch of modern-day Japanese people beating each other up, but all the elements were there, if maybe a bit disguised. But by the time the 7th entry came around, Sega decided to stop pretending. Like a Dragon is a straight-up, turn-based JRPG, and it's as wild and wacky as its predecessors, while leaning a lot more heavily on the more traditional elements that make it a JRPG. It's $9.99 on Steam and PlayStation, though it's $10.99 on Xbox. Dare to be different, I guess. The most recent entry in the Tales series, Tales of Arise, is a bit of a departure on the gameplay front, though it still delivers all the action-based combat that the series has taught us to expect. It tells a story about rising against oppression. Despite the heavy subject matter, though, it still manages to keep it light with tons of great character interactions. It's a perfect entry point if you're new to the series, so take advantage of the sales. It's $19.99 on Steam and Xbox right now. If you're a Persona 5 fan, you probably want more from those characters, right? Like every mainline Persona game, they give you a whole team of fun personalities to get attached to, and then the games just go and end. Fortunately, Persona 5's story continues with Persona 5 Strikers. It changes the gameplay up big time, switching from a turn-based system to full-on Musou-style action. Think Hyrule Warriors, that sort of thing. It's a ton of fun, and it's another full game full of your favorites. So what's the downside? There isn't any. That was a rhetorical question. It's going for $17.99 on Steam right now. If you're in the mood for something super stylish and also really different from the norm, Haven might be up your alley. It's about two people on the run from the law because, like, their love is illegal or something. Regardless, you'll explore an alien world and try to stay ahead of the cops, and I can say from personal experience that this is a great game to co-op with a significant other. Haven is on sale right now for $9.99 on Steam and Xbox. This one really surprised me. I'm not the biggest mainline Monster Hunter fan, so I figured stories wouldn't really be up my alley. However, it's a super high quality turn-based JRPG that's just set in the world of Monster Hunter, so the gameplay was super my style. The production values are really high for what was essentially a handheld game originally, and the combat is an addictive mix of turn-based strategizing and rock, paper, scissoring. Plus, there's a healthy dose of monster collecting in there for good measure. Definitely worth grabbing if you haven't played it yet. It's only $19.79 on Steam and PlayStation, and $19.99 on Switch. What's that 20 cents get you? Who knows? Visions of Mana was one of my favorite games of last year, and I don't think that game would have been possible without Trials of Mana. This is a remake of the classic 16-bit sequel to Secret of Mana, and it fully updates that already very good game into something indistinguishable from any modern title. Choose your party of characters and go bash enemies in full 3D. It's only $19.99 on Steam, PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch. JRPGs have come in a lot of different styles over the years, but one of the most striking is Ni no Kuni. It was a collaboration with Studio Ghibli, and their distinctive art makes this one of the finest looking games out there. The combat is uniquely fun with a mix of turn-based and real-time. You get to collect familiars to use in battle, which is great for those of us with a thing for collecting things, particularly cute little monster things. This is almost criminally priced at $7.49 on Steam, but if you're an Xbox player, you can grab it for $19.99. I've raved about my love for Chrono Trigger, and even if Chrono Cross doesn't quite live up to that standard in my mind, it's still a phenomenal game in its own right and one of the best from the PlayStation 1 era. The Radical Dreamers edition gave the game an HD facelift, and it also added a fully localized version of Radical Dreamers, the text-based adventure that only came out in Japan and took place after Chrono Trigger. If you're a JRPG lover, this is a must-own. It's only $7.99 on Steam, Xbox, and Switch. This is one of the most underrated tactical JRPGs out there, and it's a real shame. Valkyria Chronicles has always been about telling deep war stories using gorgeous watercolor-esque anime art, and its combat is addictively fun. The complete edition of Valkyria Chronicles 4 is a great way to get into the series, and if you like it, you can always grab a copy of the first game remastered as well. Part 4 is going for $9.99 on Steam and only $5.99 on PlayStation. Persona 3 is another beloved entry in the Persona series. Actually, it's the game that put the series on the map, really. The portable edition was originally released for the PSP, and it introduced the option to play as a female main character, something none of the other releases have offered. If you're in the mood for some dark and brooding fun, with the requisite mix of typical Persona hijinks, you really should pick up P3 Portable. It's only $15.99 on Steam right now, and it's only $19.99 everywhere else. Not on sale, but still a great deal. Tales of Vesperia was originally one of the main reasons for hardcore JRPG fans to own an Xbox 360. Because I didn't have one, my first experience playing this game was with the Definitive Edition, and it's truly one of the all-time classic Tales games. Yuri is possibly the most interesting main character the series has ever seen, and the combat is a perfect blend of classic Tales and new ideas. It's $9.99 on Steam, PlayStation, and Switch. Ys 8 was a turning point for the series. It's honestly the game that propelled it from niche action RPG to mainstream hit, and it's pretty easy to see why. This game has some of the best action RPG combat out there, one of the coolest stories, and music that will absolutely rock your entire butt off. You can check out the origins of the Ys series revival for just $19.99 on Steam and PlayStation. The first game from Tokyo RPG Factory, this game may have been relatively low budget, but it did some really cool things and it's worth taking a look at. Am Setsuna tells the story of a knight who has to sacrifice a girl named Setsuna for the good of the people. However, not everything goes as planned, leading to a big adventure in a completely snow-covered country. The combat is extremely reminiscent of Chrono Trigger with combination techniques, and the music is fully composed on solo piano. It's very cool. More people need to know about this one, so hopefully the $11.99 price tag on Steam and Switch will make it better known. Okay, this one isn't under $20, it's $30, but that's half off the regular price, and look, I need you to play this game, okay? This is one of my all-time favorite games, period, and it's been grossly overlooked. I think it's largely because people assumed this was just yet another farming sim. To be fair, it was kind of marketed that way, but honestly, it is not that. There is a bit of that in there, but it's so much more than that. It's an action RPG set in a just fascinating world. You team up with really intriguing characters, and you get hit with one of the most unique and deeply cool stories I've ever experienced in a game. I haven't brought Harvestella up on this channel in quite a while, like consciously, because I didn't want to be a broken record, but screw it, I'm gonna be a broken record. Get this game. Like I said, it's $29.99 on Steam and Switch. Tell them Brandon sent you. It won't get you anything, and they won't know who I am, but still. Alright, that's it. That's like 20-ish games that are already worth their full asking price, only you can get them for so much less during Golden Week. I hope this is helpful. Let me know what games you're planning to pick up down in the comments, and if you wouldn't mind liking the video and subscribing, I'd greatly appreciate it. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time, bye.